Did you know this simple burger could expose the truth about your economy? No. Seriously, this isn't just lunch. This is the Big Mac Index, and it's one of the smartest ways to measure how powerful or weak your country's money really is. The Big Mac Index was created back in 1986 by The Economist, not as a joke, but as a fun, digestible way to understand currency value across the globe. And what better example than a burger you can find in over 100 countries? Here's the idea. The Big Mac is almost the same everywhere. Same ingredients, same portion, same packaging. So in theory, it should cost the same no matter where you buy it, right? But it doesn't. Prices vary drastically depending on the country. And when you convert those prices to US dollars, they expose something surprising. Whether that country's currency is overvalued or undervalued. Let's take some real examples. In Switzerland, a Big Mac will cost you around $8.17. That's way above the US average of $5.69, which tells us Switzerland's currency, the Swiss franc, is probably overvalued. Now flip the globe. In Venezuela, the same Big Mac costs only $1.78. That's not a deal. That's a red flag. It points to a severely undervalued currency and most likely a struggling economy. But it's not just the extremes that matter. In countries like Brazil and Australia, prices are close to the US, just slightly lower or higher. That hints their currencies are roughly fairly valued or slightly off balance. So yes, this one burger is now an international economic measuring stick. Welcome to Burgernomics. But here's the real magic. The Big Mac Index doesn't just tell you about currency. It shows you how much your money is actually worth in different parts of the world. It's a snapshot of purchasing power. Let's say you're planning to move, travel, or work abroad. If a Big Mac is expensive in your destination country, chances are everything else is too. From housing to groceries to transportation. Zero. And if it's cheap, that might mean a lower cost of living. But it could also signal an unstable economy, inflation, or poor wages. That's why the Big Mac Index is both simple and shockingly revealing. Economists, investors, even casual travelers use this index to compare how far a dollar or a peso really goes. It may not be a perfect measure, but it's a fun, visual, and surprisingly accurate way to detect economic strength. Of course, there are limitations. This index doesn't account for things like local wages, taxes, rent, or labor costs. It won't replace financial reports or inflation data, but it's perfect for a quick comparison. And let's be honest, charts are boring. But burgers? Everyone understands burgers. It turns a complicated idea, like currency, valuation, into something you can taste. Think about this. A Big Mac is more than just beef and buns. It's got built-in labor costs, ingredient prices, electricity bills, rent, and brand value, all baked into that final price. So when the cost changes globally, you're seeing real economic shifts. When the Swiss pay $8 for the same burger Americans buy $5.69, that's not just inflation. That's about global purchasing power, and it impacts everything from imports to salaries to savings. So yeah, next time you walk into a McDonald's, take a second before ordering. Check the price. Compare it to home. You might be shocked at what it says about that country's economy. In fact, Big Mac prices can tell you more about economic inequality than most people realize. The Big Mac Index may be bite-sized, but it's backed by big ideas. Currency valuation, exchange rates, cost of living, inflation, all that inside your burger wrapper. So next time you unwrap that Big Mac, just remember, you're not just eating fast food. You're tasting global economics. And your wallet? It's the real story. If you found this breakdown tasty, hit that subscribe button.